Let's start, guys. Shall we start, Situ?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So, welcome everyone. I'm Adesh from Central DAO, and this is our out of many sessions that we have done with Central DAO with Meta School. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We've got Setu from Meta School. Meta School is among the pioneering Web3 edtech platform, and I guess among the biggest Web3 edtech platform across India. And Setu is a Web3 developer. He has got experience for past 4 years working to provide awareness about Web3 as a technology. And so, yeah, we are very happy to have you, Setu. Let's start with the session, guys.
oh, okay. Sure. Just give me a second to share my screen.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for that. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So, can you guys see the screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, I see a lot of thumbs up, hand raise. Yes. Are you guys confusing the icons or just you guys ask the question? I
I
think
think it's a way to say they can see the screen.
it's a bit of confusion regarding the emoji and the hand raise. But yeah,
We
still, yeah,
haven't even started. How can we get doubts?
yeah, we have doubts from the start. That's good. So first of all, welcome, guys. This is, I guess, my second outing with Central DAO. Such cool people, they have such passion for Web3, and I love doing sessions, Central DAO sessions. So, welcome, you guys. And today, I mean, the agenda is pretty clear, right? I mean, it's like you have the title is pretty much self-explanatory. So, let me ask you guys, how many of you are like completely new to Web3, like, starting off from scratch? Okay, we have 3 hands. You can use the chat. I mean, if you want, you can use the chat. I mean, it's hard to keep track of the hand raised thing. So, okay. I see. Just use the chat. I mean, it's fine. I mean, everybody is a learner in Web3, so it's completely fine. I just want to know, like, how many of you are like getting into Web3 for the first time, all ready to write smart contracts and stuff. New to Web3, okay. Myself, I'm not following the space from video. That's fine. I mean, all are welcome here, so don't worry. So before I get started, so we'll just do one quick thing. So we'll be deploying the contract and everything using one of the Meta School courses. So as I give the intro, can you guys just go and enroll for the course so that we can jump straight in after the intro? We'll just jump straight into the course. So I have provided the link in the chat. Just go and enroll for the course, and then we'll in parallel I'll just give you guys the intro. So once the intro is done, we'll go to the course. But you have the link. Just enroll for it, right? So yeah, so we have a lot of new people who are starting out, and any veterans. I mean, people who have built dApps and stuff, or who has written contracts. Yeah. So Sagar sir has provided the course link. Thank you, Sagar. Written some. Okay, we have some imposters here. So a little. Yeah, I know John has written smart contracts and DAOs and stuff. So. Anybody else? Nice. So yeah, we have people who are familiar with contracts and stuff, and we have people who are made some tokens of Solana. Okay, you're just showing off now. We are talking about writing contracts, and there is Abdul who has written tokens on Solana, which is great. So yeah, anyway, so we have like the perfect crowd, right? We have people who are starting to learn, we have people who know the stuff, so it's the perfect crowd. Like, you guys can help each other and just help deploy the first contract. Familiarity with Solidity, that's good. Or familiar with Solidity. Yeah. we'll use all that. So before we begin, I want you guys to do something. So we at Meta School, we are creating a community of builders, right? We want the best builders in the space to come to a single place so that we can build something cool. So these are our socials. Just please feel free to tag along with us. Like we have our Discord, LinkedIn and Twitter, and we'll be sharing all the cool stuff, all the campaigns and everything. Yeah, builders. Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, I know like that pronunciation is a bit too hard, so I'll just keep the builders, developers, or I'll just call you guys developers. Yeah. So anyway, so do tag along. I think Sagar sir has the link to all that. Sagar sir, if you will please share the links of all the socials.
Yeah.
Great. So just tag along with us through the whole thing. Just tag us, share. Offer. I'm sorry. Is that for me or yeah? Anyway, so yeah, just tag along with us. Yeah, there you go. The links are there in the chat. So just in the Discord, like we have a pretty active Discord community where we'll be sharing all the cool updates, campaigns, and everything. So just start here. Just click on the whole globe icon, and you are in. Like we have tons of cool campaigns and stuff happening all the time. And like people are building stuff, people are getting grants and everything. So it's crazy. So do follow us, do join the community. So we have a room full of builders there. So yeah, you'll fit right in. So also, now that we have that out of the way, let's get to the whole thing. So my name, I think there was already an intro, but my name is Sethuraman. I'm a developer relations engineer. Meaning, I basically help developers, onboard onto Web3. That's basically my job at Meta School. So we have a lot of courses, we have a lot of learning tracks and everything, and I help, my team, we help developers like yourself get into Web3, right? So that's the gist of what we do. So having that out of the way, let me ask you this question. What have you guys heard of Web3 so far? Like, I know that there are people who are starting out, there are people experienced. So what's your general idea of Web3? Cryptos, there we go. There we go. The race begins. Craze, centralized blockchains, smart contracts, read, write, own. Oh, okay. That's cool. So how do you define this whole thing? Like you have somebody just said like Web3 is all about the craze, more secure, decentralization, community driven. So okay, so you have a decentralized. So I see a lot of decentralization, community driven, and everything. So how do you like just use the bare minimum sentence to describe what Web3 is? Awesome community. That's true. So what? Just give me a simple sentence of what Web3 is. We have all these terms. All of them are correct. I'm not against any of these terms. All of them are true. It is secure. It is decentralized. I don't know. I think John and somebody is having a conversation on their own. But yeah. So anyway, the future of the internet, immutability. Again, I'm looking for sentences. The future of internet. That's a good one. How would you define Web3? And the chat. A progression of which that encourages decentralization. Good. Okay. See, you guys know that the internet as a whole, it went through a lot of phases, right? Like we have Web 1.0, 2.0, and stuff like that, right? Yes. Like the new. All right. The next big thing on the internet. Yeah. So like you guys know that the web has like a lot of went through a lot of iterations. Like you had like Web 1.0, which was like filled with the internet was filled with read-only static web pages, right? Where you can just present the information and you can't do much with it. Yeah, static websites and stuff like that. right? Then we moved on to Web 2.0, where users can't not only read the data, they can also interact with it. Like they can add data, dynamic. Like the web became more dynamic. So what is Web 3.0? So you had, like, initially you had the whole static web, then you moved on to something a bit more dynamic where users can interact with the data and stuff. Like users can share data, have more dynamic interactions with the web page. So what is Web 3.0 or Web 3? One who has, yes. See, Web 3.0, like right now, are we in Web 3.0 or 2.0? Where are we currently? Like, yeah. And any issues with Web 2.0? Oh, okay. Dibanga says we are already in Web 3. That's cool. Very optimistic. Middle of it. I guess that's the right way to put it. But yeah, so what's the problem with Web 2? I mean, we've been using Web 2 for almost, I don't know, 30 years. Lack of ownership, centralizing. Yeah, yes, Web 2.5. Yeah, see, when you look at all the websites in Web 2.0, right, there is a serious concern regarding data, right? The ownership of data. Who owns the data? Like you guys, I'm pretty sure, all of you guys use Google, Facebook, Instagram, all those things, right? So who, Elon Musk, big data owns our, big company owns our data. Yeah. See, the thing is, when you look at most of these Web 2 companies, there is a very serious concern regarding the ownership of data, right? They are either owned by a conglomerate or a group of individuals and stuff. I mean, what's the problem there? I mean, we've been using all these services for quite some time, right? So what's the problem there? Why not just let Google keep the data? Or why not just let Facebook keep the data? What's the problem there? Nice chance of getting hacked. Okay. Anything else? Mox says that he can get hacked. I mean, the data is already with them, right? So privacy issues. Yeah. Anybody heard of this guy called Edward Snowden? Sorry. Edward Snowden. Oh, okay. Yes. I think I see a few. No. Okay. So just Google this guy. His name is Edward Snowden, and he basically worked with the CIA, like American intelligence, right? And he's something we call a whistleblower. Any idea on what that is? Whistleblowers. These are people who exposes a lot of things. Okay, like these are people who come out and expose a lot of bad practices. Not exactly snitches. I mean, these are people who just exposes a lot of things within an organization. And this Edward Snowden, he basically said that the government, like all the major companies, including Facebook and everybody, is basically giving data to the government for surveillance. Yeah. The Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma is a really cool documentary on Netflix that talks about a lot of these things. But the thing is, you have evidence that the data that you share is actually being used in ways that you're not aware of, right? For surveillance and all those kind of things. So the privacy of the data isn't questioned. Like when you look at Web 2, the privacy of the data is in question because it is handled by centralized organizations, and you don't know what they do with the data, right? So with Web 3.0, as you guys mentioned, an absolute conspiracy theorist. Oh, cool, Snowden. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of scrutiny around that thing, but the general consensus is that there is a huge leak of data when it comes to these centralized companies. Right. So Web 3.0 is the next iteration, right? Instead of just reading and writing data, you add one more criteria to it. Okay, it's the next iteration of internet where users can own their data. Okay, I'm not giving complete control of my data to a third party, right? I have the control. I can know what is happening with my data. So it's not just reading and writing on the internet, it's owning the data. So that next iteration of the internet is basically what we call Web3, right? And what is the technology behind all this? What is that technology that is like, how can you own data? How can you own data? Yeah, I think the answer was pretty peer-to-peer blockchain. Yeah, see, so smart contracts, right? We'll get to smart contracts. We are halfway there. We'll get there. So yeah, so see, when it comes to the ownership of data, how do we do it? I mean, you guys by being anonymous, okay. Being anonymous means people don't know to whom the data belongs to, right? Like we're talking about ownership. Being anonymous means like if I share something, like they don't know that I share, but the data is already there. The data might be with somebody else, right? But ownership, how do we own data? Any idea? See, so the idea is that we need to know what is happening with the data, right? We by creating it, yeah. I mean, like the ownership thing comes when we know what is happening with our data, right? So one key component is like we should be able to see what is happening with our data, so that we can tell that okay, this is not supposed to happen, or we should block it. I just stop it. Like I won't be sharing my data and stuff. So the idea is that everybody should have access to the data. Do you guys understand? Like when it comes to ownership, the idea is that we should be able to see what is happening with our data and tell if it is being misused. We should be able to say that okay, this is not the way to do it. And the way we are doing it is by making the data more transparent, or by making sure that everybody has access to, yes, transparency. Yeah, transparency of data, right? With Web2, you have these companies like when you Google something or when you post something on the social media, the data basically goes to a black box, somewhere in their server. You don't know what is happening with the data. But when it comes to the next iteration, you're talking about ownership of data, meaning you should have some idea regarding, what is happening with your data. And one of the most straightforward ways to be transparent. So the question is, how do you become transparent with the data, or how do you give everybody access to the data? Do you guys understand the whole? Dilemma there? You need to own the data, meaning you should know what is happening there, and in order to do that, you need to give everybody access to the data. See, this is where this whole thing called blockchain comes in. Okay, like you have centralized servers and you have blockchain. So how are these two different? How are these two things different? Any idea? You have databases on one end and you have blockchains on the other. How are these two different? Decentralized versus centralized. Yeah. See, for those who are starting out, I'll give you an analogy of what is the difference. Okay. Just imagine a classroom, right? You guys just imagine a classroom where you have, let's say, 30 students. Okay. And only one of those students, let's say the first rank, the kid who gets the first rank, that student writes the notes for the entire class. You understand the setup? You have a class of, let's say, 30 students, and the topper writes the notes for the entire class. What can go wrong in that situation? You have a class of 30, one student writes the notes for the entire class. What could go wrong in that situation? Misinformation, yeah. I mean, that person could write some, everybody has this, yeah. If the topper writes something, wrong, everybody has the wrong information. Any other problems? Has the complete command. Yes, he can say that. Okay, I'm not sharing the notes. or I'm not sharing the note with this person, I'm not sharing the note with that person. You can say that, right? Is this notebook? Anything else? What happens if the topper takes a leave? One day he just takes a leave. What happens then? The information is lost, right? Or what happens if some other kid from some other class comes in and steals the note? Right? Do you understand the scenario? See, yeah, the data loss. Exactly. No more notes and stuff. Right? See, this is an example of a centralized system. You have one entity that controls the entire thing. Single point of failure. Exactly. Right? Even though he's the topper, he represents a single point of failure. Right? Meaning if something happens to his notebook, the entire information is lost. Now, how does our normal classroom works? How does our normal classroom work? See, in our normal classroom, if you have 30 students, each of them have their own notebooks, right? Everybody has their own notebooks and everybody writes down the notes on their own, right? Optimistically, right? So everybody has a notebook, everybody owns that notebook and everybody writes their own notes. So the question is, what happens if one of the students takes a leave? Let's say of the 30 students, if one of them takes a leave, is there any issue there? What if somebody comes in and, or if one of the kids writes something wrong in their notebook? Any issue there? Right? See, when you look at the normal classroom, you have the same information, right? The same notes that is distributed across multiple notebooks. Right? You have the same data that is distributed across multiple notebooks. Right? And that notebook is individually owned by that student. Right? So this is what we call a decentralized setup. Meaning a single entity doesn't control the whole thing. Everybody is responsible or everybody is leader in that kind of a system. So blockchain works on that principle. Okay, what you have to understand is blockchain is a way to store data. Okay, and it works in a decentralized and distributed manner, just like a classroom. So you have, instead of students and notebooks, you have servers. Okay, our servers or computational devices. And instead of classrooms, the whole servers will be, or these computational units will be spread across the globe. And within these computational units, you have a digital ledger that keep track of all the information that is happening in that network. Okay, and anybody who has access to those servers can see the data. Rather than just one database that is controlled by someone, you have a set of servers that is scattered across the globe. Anybody can own a server. And within those servers, you have these digital ledgers that contains the entire information of that network, or that stores the entire information of that network. Meaning anybody who has access to the data can view it, can see what is going on in the network and everything. Right? So does this bring in transparency? Does this whole setup brings in transparency? Like, just imagine the classroom scenario. Your notes are pretty transparent because you own them, right? Like everybody owns a notebook and everybody writes it, so you know what is happening in your notebook or what is happening in the class, thanks to your notes. And even if one of the, so that is, we'll talk about the privacy matter, right? And if one of these servers fail, or one of these, something happens to one of these servers, or somebody hacks in and changes data in one of these servers, it doesn't affect the others, or it is pretty easy to identify the whole problem, because everybody has a copy of the same data, right? So this is essentially what blockchain is. It's a decentralized distributed technology that helps you store data in a secure manner. Do you guys understand? Any questions? Do you understand the basic logic of it? Any questions or doubts? Pretty clear, right? So the next question is, I guess, so the next part is, yeah, this is just the whole of Web3, I guess. I'm pretty sure you guys know everybody, right? This is just what Web3 is. You have everybody here. So yeah. So the next question is, yes, let's start smart contracts. What is a contract actually? What exactly is a contract? An agreement? Okay. Anything else? Collection of functions. Okay, no. I'm not talking about smart contracts or anything. I'm just talking about a contract. Ledger, trust agreement. Where have you guys? It's a deal. It's an agreement. Yeah, something which is agreed to. So where have you seen this contract? Stock markets. See, a contract is basic. We can say that a contract is essentially a set of rules that we agreed to. Can we say that? Can we say that a contract is a set of rules that everybody, all the parties involved agrees to, right? So, yeah, it can be between companies, it can be between individuals, it can be between anybody, right? But a contract represents a set of rules that everybody agrees to. So the next question is, do you like when I go to my local supermarket? Okay, when I go to my local supermarket to purchase some fruits or vegetables or a packet of biscuits or something, do you think there is a contract there? No? Pretty sure? Again, just go back to the definition of a contract. It is basically a set of rules that everybody agrees to. So let me just repeat the question. I go to my local grocer to get some grocery stuff. And when I buy it, is there a contract? Price contracts? See, yeah, the thing is, there is a contract, right? Even if it is non-verbal, there is a set of, mutual understanding. Yeah, there is a set of rules that we follow when we are conducting that transaction, right? The MRP, the quality, the expiry date, the balance that we have to give, or the balance that the shopkeeper has to give us. So all these things can represent a set of rules, and we are agreeing to it while we are actually buying a packet of biscuit, right? So the conclusion, so the thing is, the idea is that whenever you are conducting an action that is of a transactional nature, meaning if there is a give and take, okay, there is always a contract. Do you guys understand? It need not be written, but there is always a contract. If the action is of a transactional nature, okay. Do you guys understand? So if the action is of a transactional nature, then there is always a contract. It can be buying a packet of biscuit, it can be buying a house, it can be buying a land, car, whatever. Right? Sometimes the contract might be written, other times it might be non-verbal, no issues. But the thing is, if the action that you're conducting is of a transactional nature, meaning if you're exchanging something, there will be always a set of rules that you abide by. Meaning there will always be a contract. Any questions there? Any doubts or questions with the statement that I just said? If the action is of a transactional nature, there will always be a set of rules that guides the transaction. Otherwise, if there is no rule, we can just take the biscuit and run away. Right? No issues. Right? Or the shopkeeper, if he asks for a packet of biscuit, he can say no. I mean, he can say no. I mean, he can overcharge or something. Right? So the thing is, so you have a set of rules that you follow by whenever you are conducting a transaction. Now the question is, can we, what exactly does a vending machine do? You guys have used vending machines, right? You just put some buttons, you just put some coins, press a few buttons, and you get snacks or whatever, chips or whatever, right? So, like, do you think the vending machine is also, yeah, deliver the product? Like, you just have to press a few buttons, press a few, give a few coins and stuff, and you get the stuff that you need. So, do you think that the vending machine follows a contract? Do you think the vending machine follows a contract? Yes. Yes. I mean, it does, right? I mean, it follows all the rules that you are following with the, yeah, it follows all the rules. It follows the same rules as that of your normal everyday transactions, right? So the question is, can you replace? Yeah, we are getting there. We are getting there. See, can you replace a shopkeeper with a vending machine? It's pretty easy, right? See, when you look at it, the whole thing, when you look at a normal transaction, yes. Yeah, higher cost means it's just one-time payment, so it's repetitive work. So the thing is, when you look at the whole situation, when you look at buying a packet of biscuits, you are essentially like the shopkeeper is essentially what you call a third party, right? You have somebody between you and the transaction, or you and the packet of biscuits, and this third party helps you with conducting the transaction by making sure that all the rules are followed. You can easily replace the third party with a vending machine. Like, you can easily replace a shopkeeper with a vending machine. And with the vending machine, what you're doing is you're taking some mechanical parts, you're writing some code, and it follows the same set of rules that conducts the transaction for you. Right? Now, can we expand the scope and do this with every kind of transaction? You have shopkeepers for vending, you have vending machines for shopkeepers, right? So suppose you're buying a car, you have dealers to deal with, you have a lot of people, a lot of middlemen or third parties that you have to interact with to conduct that transaction. Suppose you're buying a land, right? You have to go through this whole bureaucracy and stuff. Again, handle or deal with a lot of third parties and stuff. So can we have a similar system like a vending machine where we can just replace the third party and write some code and handle the whole thing, whole transaction without the need of a third party? See, that is where smart contracts comes in. Okay, smart contract is essentially a program that runs on top of blockchains that helps you conduct these transactions without the help of a third party. Just like how we replace the shopkeeper with a vending machine. Do you guys understand the concept? Any questions? Right? So when you look at the whole thing, yeah. So the reason why they are called smart contracts is because they are contracts. They are like in those programming files, we are essentially, yeah. So within a smart contract is essentially a programming file, just like your C++ or Python or whatever. Okay, and within those programming files, what we do is we write the rules of a transaction. Let's say if you are buying a car or land or whatever, you take all the rules that you have to follow in that transaction and you write a code out of, or you create a code out of it. Okay, and you deploy it on top of the blockchain. Right? So you have a programming file that contains the contract and stuff, the set of rules for a transaction, and the contract will itself, just like how you put the coin into the vending machine, all you have to do is just give the data of a transaction to the contract. It will verify the whole thing on its own and conduct the necessary steps to conclude the transaction. Do you understand? So this is sort of like how vending machine works. Instead of coins, you're just putting in data for a transaction and it will take care of the whole thing. What if I deploy contract without? Yeah, you can also, since it's in the, again, and that's why I said like this whole contract sits on top of a blockchain. So everything, like you will see everything, and there are ways to make sure that if you can actually look at the contract. If somebody deploys a contract that you don't like, you don't have to. You can just always go to the blockchain and see the contract. You can see what is happening in the contract. And if you are like, okay, I don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. That's why I told you that the smart contract is running on top of blockchain. every action or every kind of transaction that that smart contract handles, everything will be recorded in the blockchain. So you have data transparency, and you have, on top of that, you're automating the whole process using smart contracts. Do you guys understand the setup? So on the base layer, you have a data storage mechanism that actually helps you store data in a very transparent and secure manner. And on top of it, you are running these programs which records the whole thing on the blockchain, and these programs can conduct transactions without the help of third parties. Yeah, Renu, go ahead. Go ahead. Is that clear? Like the basic logic of smart contracts clear? Awesome. Yeah, what is the query? Ah, nice. There are situations. See, the validation can always happen. I mean, you know, like there are different kinds of validation. You can validate, like there are a lot of, if somebody is doing, you know, deploying a contract onto the chain, everybody can validate it. Okay, everybody can validate it. It's, I'll show you, like when you deploy a contract, it will be there on the blockchain and everybody can see it. Right? So this is the whole idea. So this is what we are going to build. We are going to build, or we are going to build a system that can help you remove third parties and conduct transactions directly with the code. Right? Like think of buying a car without a dealer, or buying land without going through the whole government bureaucracy. The code will deal with everything. You just have to provide the data. So it is automation, it is faster, it is more secure. So that's the whole idea of smart contracts. So yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing. Instead of going through all these middlemen, you just have to write a program and be done with it. Eliminating the third party, exactly. Right? So any questions regarding what blockchain is and what smart contract is? Can we get to the good part, I mean, the coding part now? Awesome. All right. All clear. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I hope you guys have enrolled for the course. How many of you are? How many of you have enrolled for the course? I'm installing hard hat. Nice. How many of you have enrolled for the course? Me. Okay. Just put a thumbs up. Just fill the screen with emojis. Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So this course basically guides you through how to create and deploy your first smart contract. Now, there is an easy way to do it. Okay. Have you guys heard of this thing called Remix? Remix. Yes. So the thing is, there is, yeah, exactly. So, oh, sorry. Yeah. So you have Remix, which is like a IDE. It's an online IDE that helps you write, contract and stuff. So this is pretty easy. You just have to click a few buttons, and you can just deploy your contract. But we are builders, or we are training to be builders, right? So we need something a bit more solid, right? So today what we're going to do is we are going to take a bit of a hard path, and actually we are going to deploy our contract using something called hard hat. Okay, any idea what hard hat is? Any idea what hard hat is? So this is developer stuff. Okay, Remix, anybody can do it. I mean, you just have to click a few buttons and it's done. Yeah, hello hat is hard hat. Yeah. See, hard hat is actually a smart contract development framework. Okay, it is a set of libraries. It is a set of tools and libraries that helps you create smart contracts or develop smart contract easily. Okay, that is basically what hard hat is. It's basically a set of libraries and tools that helps you build smart contract very easily. Okay, so in this hard hat really, we're talking. Are you sure? Like, Truffle is discontinued, right? Hat is pretty active, I believe. I think you are talking about yeah, Truffle is discontinued. Yeah. Don't confuse. Don't give me a hard time. Because I've been using hat for quite a long time. So Truffle is another framework. Okay, Truffle is another framework similar to hat, but it is discontinued. Yeah. Foundry is another one. Yeah, there you go. So these are different frameworks that helps you write smart contracts or develop smart contracts easily. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. And we talked a lot about smart contracts. So what is the programming language that we use for smart contracts? Solidity. So yeah. See, Solidity is Rust. Oh yeah, you can write a smart contract using Rust. But for since we are just starting out, I think Solidity is the go-to language, because the thing is Solidity was actually developed for this purpose. It was actually developed for writing smart contracts on Ethereum. Okay, so in this whole course, will be Viper is actually a good language. In this workshop, we are going to see how to write a smart contract using Solidity and deploy it onto Ethereum. Any other any other change? Like I see a lot of guys using Rust. So any Solana and your plans, these are all different networks. Okay. Oh, so okay, that's good. Sui very difficult. Oh, okay. Solana, right. So in this course, we'll be using Ethereum, which is like one of the OGs. So Ethereum actually introduced the concept of smart contracts. Okay, Vitalik actually like the whole thing that we talked about, right? So with Bitcoin, they had a network that could take care of that could decentralize financial systems. Right? We don't need a bank to send a Bitcoin. So Vitalik asked like, how can we build a platform that can decentralize applications, where you don't have to rely on a centralized authority for processing applications. And that's how they built a general purpose blockchain, which is Ethereum. And with Ethereum, they introduced Solidity and smart contracts and all those stuff. Okay, so we are going to write a smart contract using Solidity and deploy it onto Ethereum or Ethereum testnet. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, so the first thing is you need a couple of things. First thing is you need a Node.js. Any idea? Any idea on what Node.js is? Oh, just let me just. Oh, yeah, okay. I just opening the terminal. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, any idea on what full ID? Yeah. So, yeah, it's so you know JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is something that you use in your web browsers. Okay. JavaScript is something that you use in your web browsers, and that brings all the dynamic things on the button clicks and pop-ups and everything on your browser. So Node.js actually helps you run JavaScript in your system. Okay, yeah, server or system. So the first thing that you have to make sure is that you need to have Node.js. Yeah, it is very powerful in your system. So how many of you have Node.js node installed on your machine? Again, fill the screen up with emojis, please. Yes, yes, nice. Cool. So yeah, to confirm it, just type in movie and I'm using version. All right, thank you. Yeah, every developer must have Node. Right. So you need Node and you need an IDE. So we are not using Remix. So I mean, typically with IDEs, you can use any IDEs, but I think one of the easiest and most simplest one is something called Visual Studio Code. Any VS Code fans here? How many of you are fans of VS Code? Ah, yes, there you go. Any other IDEs that you guys prefer? Oh, Vim. Oh, okay. Lazy Vim. Oh, okay. Any other IDEs? Vim. Oh, all right. It's Atom. Atom is actually good. It's a bit heavy, but it's good. So yeah, so we are going to use VS Code for this. So Node and VS Code, that's all we need. Okay. And by the end of the course, you'll have deployed the whole contract, once you complete the course, you will get this nice NFT, and you also have something else, like it's sort of a surprise. I'll just reveal it in 10 minutes. Since you guys have stayed for this long, we're also giving you some another really cool NFT. So just bear with me for 10 more minutes, and I'll give you the whole thing. Right. So yeah, and right. So the setup, right? We are going to write smart contracts, and we need to deploy it. So there are a couple of things that we need to make sure that we have in order to deploy. And the first thing is something called as an account, a MetaMask account. What is that? Why do we need an account? Wallet, yes. Why do we need an account? I see a lot of emojis. Yeah, see, think of it like this. You have a banking network, right? How do you interact with the banking network? Like if you want to take loan, or if you want to send money or receive money, what is the basic thing that you need? In a banking network, it can be SBI, it can be any of the given banks, Swiss Bank, whatever. We should have an account, right? We should have an account in the bank. Same principle. Okay, in order to interact with the Ethereum network, you need an account. Okay, you need an Ethereum account. And this MetaMask is actually a wallet service that helps you set up an account. How many of you have a MetaMask account or a wallet installed? Anybody who's yet to install a MetaMask wallet? Anybody yet to install a MetaMask wallet? Take one. Couple, so in order to install a MetaMask, what you have to do is you just oh, you have it. Okay. Yes, so you are yet to install MetaMask, right? So what you have to do is, it's pretty simple. Okay. So what you have to do is just go to this website. Just go to this website. So this is metamask.io. So, and you can directly install it onto your browser. Or you can wait. This is the portfolio website. Wait, I'll give you the yeah. Can do this. Can do the download. There, so we'll get to that. So yeah, you can select the browsers and stuff. So if you just go to this link, it will ask you, it will show you all the browsers and stuff, and just click on install MetaMask. Okay, so it will take you through the process, and you can quickly install MetaMask. Like I already have it installed, so it's basically an extension. You can see it right here, right? So quickly just install MetaMask, and this is how it looks like. Okay. So the whole MetaMask, like I said, this is a wallet service that helps you set up an account in Ethereum. Okay, just like how you need a banking account to interact with the banking network, you need an Ethereum account in order to interact with the Ethereum network. Okay, conduct transactions, send tokens, deploy contracts, everything you need an account. Okay, so you just have to go through these. I mean, it's you have to install. You'll have the install button right here, and just click on it, and it will take you through the process, right? So once you set up the whole MetaMask account, I mean, the whole process is here. Okay. Yes, if you face any difficulty, the entire process is actually given in the course itself. Okay, you can go through the whole thing. Like the step-by-step instructions are here, and you can just follow through, and you will get your MetaMask account. Right. So yeah, and now once you have MetaMask, like somebody was mentioning the whole Sepolia. Yeah, Aditya was mentioning the Sepolia faucet. What is that? What is Sepolia? Or why do we need Sepolia? Testnet. See, the thing is, when you deploy the contract, you have the Ethereum mainnet. okay, where there is real ethers and stuff like that, real tokens and stuff. You can deploy the tokens there. Like when you are actually building a full-fledged application, you will be deploying the contracts onto the main network. But the thing is, that is expensive. Okay, you have to spend real money to do that. So for testing or for development purposes, you have a test environment or test nets. Okay, you have the main Ethereum network and you have test nets or test networks where you can test these contracts or anything before deploying it to the main one. Okay, and within these test nets, you use, instead of real Ethereum, you use fake Ethereum. Okay, you use fake Ethereum, which amounts to nothing. Like if you look at my MetaMask account, you can see, I'll just expand. Yeah, so you can see the whole thing, right? You know, this is essentially the fake tokens. So I'm connected to this testnet called Sepolia. Sepolia is the name of a testnet, okay, which lets you deploy and test your contracts without actually spending real money or ethers or stuff like that. And within these networks, you use a test token called, it's called Sepolia. But this, what you see here, is basically what I have. Okay, so in order to get this test or fake tokens, you have to go to this place called a faucet. Okay, there are a lot of faucets out there. Like it is there directly in the course. Like you can just go to this part, and I'll just put the link here. So it is there. So this is a example. You just have to log in. Yeah, I already done that, I guess. But yeah, so this is a faucet, meaning this is the place from which you can actually get testnets or testnet tokens. Okay, not testnet tokens. And you have this captcha. I don't know why they are doing this. It's almost like they don't believe us. Okay, and what you have to do is, once you are here, you just have to, so just like account, like you have your banking account, right? And how do you identify your banking account? How do you identify a banking account? What is that thing that you use to identify a banking account? Account number, right? You have your account number. So just like that, and you share your account number with everybody, right? Just like that, within the account or the MetaMask account, you have something called as the public address. Okay, which is sort of like your account address. Okay, this is the public address, and you can just copy it like this. Okay, and this is how it looks like. So just copy your public address and just paste it here, and just like your account number with your bank account, this is where people will. This is like, if I paste it here, the token or the test tokens will be sent to this account. Okay, this is how I identify my account, or this address is how I identify my account in the Ethereum network. Send me some real ETH. I wish I had some real ETH. Anybody, any crypto traders here? Okay, just copy the MetaMask account address and just click on and it will just send me some tokens, testnet tokens. No money. Yeah, same. Everybody's situation is the same, so don't worry. Yeah, I mean, I have, yeah, it will be here. Don't worry. So yeah, so this is the whole idea, right? So you have testnets where you can test your contracts instead of just deploying it again. Deploying it to the mainnet, and which costs a lot of money. You can develop the whole thing and test it in the testnet. Yeah. So the thing is, in order to connect to the Sepolia, the thing is, you have, like, when you look at MetaMask, it lets you connect to different networks. Okay, like Ethereum and lot of networks. But sometimes you also have to add these things to your MetaMask wallet. So what you have to do is, I think you just have to go head over, like you have the whole setup testnet environment section in your post. Just click on this MetaMask RPC thing, and just you have this whole RPC URL. So this is how you connect to the net, Sepolia network. Like, remember how I told you that there are a lot of servers placed around the globe, and using the servers you can access the network. So these are some of the IDs to connect or URLs to connect to these servers. You just have to click on add to MetaMask, and it will do the whole thing for you. Okay, so just click. So go to this section of the code, click on this link, and click on add to MetaMask, and it will add the Sepolia network to your MetaMask wallet. And you can just select it like this. Just scroll down and select Sepolia. So right now I have a MetaMask wallet that is connected to the Sepolia network, and within that network I have 0.8 test tokens. Any questions here? Any questions or doubts?
By enabling so testnets also we can get a folio testnet, right? Ethereum folio testnet.
Yeah. It's to connect. So the whole thing is to connect to the test. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, this is done. Any questions? Anybody have any questions or doubts? Yeah. If you have any questions, do ask. All good. Okay. Cool. All right. So we have completed the first stage, which is to actually set up the testnet, get some test tokens, set up the wallet, and everything is there. Okay, so that part is good to go. So yeah, I mean, we covered all these things. Like, we have the wallet, we have connected to the network, we got some test ethers. So now you have to set up your hard hat project. Okay, so this is again pretty easy. All you need to have is node in your system. Like, I think all of you or most of you have Node.js in your system, right? Yeah, token is the equivalent of currency. Think of it like currency. Like, you are in your bank, you use the currency, right? Think of tokens as the digital or blockchain equivalent of that, right? You need currency in your banks and stuff. So think of tokens as the term tokens or cryptocurrency is basically the same equivalent in the blockchain networks, right? So in order to say, set up the MetaMask, just copy this command. So what it does is it creates a new folder called Hello World. So these are terminal commands. Well, that's why there is a CD. It will just take you into that directory that you created. It will initialize a node project. Okay, like, in order to create a node project, you have to use this npm init, and it will install hard hat. So I'll just copy this, go to the folder, go to any directory in your system, just open a terminal there and paste that command, and just click on yes. So it will automatically do all this stuff. In the meantime, what is gas? Okay, again, these terms are pretty straightforward. See, I told you that this Ethereum thing is a place where you can run dApps and stuff, right? You have the whole, you can have a create, everybody can create and run dApps and stuff. So it works like a computer. Okay, it works like a computer. It works like a global computer where anybody can come in and conduct or create applications and stuff. So gas is sort of like this payment that you have to pay in order to use the resource. Okay, gas is sort of like the payment that you it's just like how normal petrol and diesel works. Like, if you want to run your car, you have to add some petrol to it, right? So similarly, if you have to run some applications on top of Ethereum, you just pay some gas. Okay, and so with the gas, what you're saying is you are just basically paying for the resource usage. You are using the Ethereum network, and you have to pay some money in order to use the resources in the network. Otherwise, what will happen is people will yeah, you can use Windows, no issues. You can use Windows. Yeah, so no issues there. So yeah, so as I was saying, so gas is sort of like the price that you pay to the Ethereum network to use the resources. like running the applications and stuff, it consumes a lot of memory and everything, right? So gas is sort of like the payment. Okay. Yeah. So I guess by now the whole thing is installed. Yeah. All right. So with that command, we have installed the hard hat. So I'll just open it using my VS Code. So yeah. So you can see that this is like this package.json file. It means that you have initialized the node project, and this node modules package means that you have installed a lot of dependencies that you're going to use in the project. We are going, so we are not going to use the entire thing. We are basically using the hard hat package, and all this comes with that. Okay, so don't be scared of all the packages that you see. So yeah, hard hat is something that we use. So in order to set up a hard hat project, now the thing that we did is we have set up a node project. Okay. Now we just need one more step to set up a hard hat project, and it is this command, npx hard hat. So npx basically is a command to execute the hard hat package, which is there inside this node modules. Okay. So paste it here, and it will give you a set of instructions, or it will help you configure your project. So I'm basically trying to set up a JavaScript project. This is the directory that I'm going to use. Git ignore. In case I want to add the whole thing to GitHub, I need a git ignore. And in case, like these are some of the dependencies that I want to install with the whole thing. So yeah, just click on yes to all, and it will help you set up the whole project. You can see a lot of yeah, you can see that a lot of folders and everything popped up, right? So it is installing all the requirements and everything for the project. All right. So now once you have that, you can see that we have a whole project where you have different folders. So this is how a hard hat project looks like. Okay, it has these three main folders: contracts, where you store your smart contract code; scripts, that helps you deploy the smart contract, the code to deploy the smart contract; and test folder to test the smart contract. And one of the key files is this thing called hard hat config, which is like the command center. Every configuration of your project will go into this file. Okay, we'll see how this works, but this is how a hard hat project looks like. Okay, so we have that out of the way. So once you have that, like you have to install a couple of more dependencies. Just copy this, and I'll just open it up here. Paste it here. So this is again a set of dependencies that we are going to use in order to build our contract. So it will make sure that everything is working smooth and stuff. So don't forget. So how many of you are following the course or trying to complete the course now? Anybody? Oh, okay.
Hello, Setu. It's showing some error for me.
What kind of error? What's the error? Can you just...
Uncount syntax error. I copied the first line of code, like hello world, right?
You mean the contract code or the commands?
Yeah, it's that set up a hard hat project, like it's shown in Metaschool, right?
Yeah. So npx command. Are you talking about the npx command?
Yeah, first step is we need to put that hello world code, right?
Yeah. So are you using Linux for this?
No, Node.js, Windows only.
Okay, so the thing is this mkdir. So this is basically a terminal command in Linux. So what you can do is you can just directly create a folder and go inside it and open the terminal there. You can just use these two commands. You have Node installed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just create these two commands are just to create a folder and just entering that folder. So what you can do is you can directly go and just create a folder.
Oh, okay.
Called a hello world. Just make sure that you name it like hello world and stuff, and then just start with the npm init and install. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
So I guess this is taking for long. So any other questions or doubts? Yeah, if you have any questions, please ask. Just try this with the
Hello, hello. Okay. The question is, what does NPM do?
So NPM is not package manager. So it helps you install and manage all the packages that you use for the whole, that you use for the whole code development. Like you have, these are all the different packages that you use for managing the code or writing the code, and NPM helps you manage it. Yeah. So the package. Yeah, I think we can. So yeah. So the surprise is, just give me a second. In the meantime, just those who are completing the code, just copy this and install the uh, dependencies. I'm just directly installing it from the terminal so that it's quicker there. So yeah, so I have installed these two terminals, and this is what the project structure looks like, right? So yeah, we have completed the setup and we are on our way to write our first smart contract. So the surprise is, for those who have stayed this long, we have a nice little POP. Have you guys heard of POPs? POAP, POPs. Any idea what a POP is?
Proof
So
of authority.
this long.
Proof of attendance.
Yeah. So we have a proof of attendance. For you guys, just give us a second. We are setting it up. So yeah, in the meantime, I'll share the link soon. So in the meantime, make sure that just share the whole. Install the whole dependencies. So in 2 minutes, I will just share a link and you can claim the POP. You guys have attended the session so far, so it is yeah. And if you have any doubts till now, just let me know. All right. So what do you, so there is so what you guys can do is, like, so for the POP app, to claim the POP, you guys can quickly on your systems or stuff. Okay, just install the POP app. So this is how you can claim the POP. Like, this is the POP app. So install this on your mobile, and within the next few minutes, just use this code to claim the POP. Okay, we have a secret code for you guys. So use this with the POP, and you can claim a nice cool NFT. I'll show you the NFT right now. Just give me a second. So yeah, use this code, Metaschool Central DAO code. Just make sure that the case and everything is there. So just install the whole POP app in your mobile and use the secret phrase directly, and it will give you this nice little NFT for the session. Okay, like, can you see this? So this is there. You can use it. Just install the app and use that for those who have stayed this long, you have this is the pop that you're getting. This is a little thing you can flaunt it in your Twitter, just tag Central DAO and Meta School and stuff. Right, so it is there. Just install it on your Android and just use the code, and you can get it. If you have any doubts, you can use this article to figure it out. Just give me a second. Like the instructions. So we are using a secret phrase for it. So yeah, you can just use this article for it. Yeah, it's basically it's basically for the mobile. Like you need the application, but yeah, here there is a part that talks about the secret phrase and stuff. So use that and get the POP, claim the POP, right? And just share it on Twitter. Yeah, so that was a little surprise there. Yeah, back to our contract. So we have the whole setup here. So what we have to do is we can just write the contract. So all you have to do is like we have a basic contract here. Just copy it. I mean, the hard hat comes with its own default contract. You can just delete it, and you can just create a new file called Hello World. No, you have to claim it via the app. Just install it on your app, and you can just claim it. So and in the app, just you have the mint option. Just click on it and use the secret password. Okay. So it has to be done via the app. Okay. So yeah, I have created a contract called helloworld.sol, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste the code and I'll just explain what is happening here. So this is what a smart contract, a Solidity smart contract looks like. Okay, this is a very basic contract, nothing fancy here. What we are doing is we'll be adding a string to it, and we'll have a function to update the string. Okay, suppose you have a very secret phrase or string kept in your blockchain. This contract will basically help you change it. Okay, so this is what is the string, and this is basically what the code looks like. Any idea what this whole licensing is? SPDX licensing stuff. Any idea? Why do we need the whole licensing? Anybody? See, the thing is, since most of the code will be out there on the blockchain where everybody can see, you need to open source it, or you need to say that okay, people can use the code, or there is no issues or legal issues that comes with it. So that's why you have to license it. So the first line basically helps you license the code. Okay, you can keep it unlicensed, or you can add other any specific licenses and stuff. So NFTs are like these unique tokens that you can collect, right? So non-fungible tokens means that these are unique tokens, meaning these are unique kind of digital, collectibles that you can get from blockchain. Meaning only you will own it, and you can't every one of these collectibles will be unique. Like you can't separate it from separate one from the other. Okay, so that is the whole thing. Just think of it like a digital collectible. Okay, that resides in the blockchain, and you can get a digital collectible of this event using the link that I've shared. Okay, just install the app and just use that passcode, and you can get the collectible for this event, like as a reminder for this event. All right, so you license the code. Any idea what this pragma thing is? Any idea what the whole? Yeah, exactly. See, the thing is, Solidity has a lot of versions, and with the pragma, what you're saying is, okay, my code is compatible with every Solidity version that is greater or equal to or greater than 0.8.4. Yeah, the compiler version, right? And just like how many of you are familiar with 24 released? Yeah. So just like how we use class in C++ and Java and stuff, you have this term called contract. We define a contract. Okay, and we have this name for the contract called Hello World. right? So our contract name is going to be hello world. So like I said, it is basically a set of rules and functions. So it is a transaction, right? So that is what we are doing here. So what we are doing is we have something called events. I'll get to that. And so we have a string variable. This is how we what is called a variable. Meaning, think of variables as this bucket where you keep the data. Okay, this is a string variable, meaning within this variable you can keep data that is of the type string, like my name or a name of a place or any kind of string, right? And we have something called a constructor. What is a constructor? What is the idea of a constructor? No idea. Yeah. See, constructors are a special kind of function that helps to set the initial values for the contract. Okay. The initial value for a contract. Yeah, sure. You can just post the question queries on Discord. Like there are people there and we will definitely help you out. Since we are a bit time stretching, you can just post your queries on our Discord. Start the Discord link. Like if you are stuck or if you are facing any issues, just post it on our Discord and we have the team there. Yeah. So just post it there on the chat. You can use any of these chats.
Yeah, just some.
Yeah. Any of these general chat or anything. Yeah. All right. So constructor is a special kind of function that helps you set the initial values for the variable. Meaning, when the contract is when I'm deploying a contract, the initial value of the message variable is set by the constructor. Okay. And then you have the update function, which will take in another string and replace what is already there at the message string. So suppose here I put DM as the initial string. Like using the constructor, I say that the initial string is going to be GM. And using the I can update it to GM. Right? So that is what this function does. And this event is something sort of like a notification. Okay, so you have all these things that are happening within the contract, right? And this event, what it does is it helps you share information to the outside entities. Suppose just like how you have the notifications in Facebook or Instagram and all those kind of applications, you have these events that lets you share information from the smart contract to whoever is listening to on the outside. Okay, so here whenever the message is changed, we'll be sending a message using this emit keyword saying that this was the old message and we are sending the new message. Okay, so this is a very basic contract where we are adding we are setting up a contract with the initial string value, and then we have a function to update that value. Okay, so this is what our contract will do. Any questions or doubts here? Anybody have any questions or doubts as to what the contract is? Any queries, any questions on what the logic of the contract is? The whole thing is there in the course. I'm just giving you a breakdown of it. Like you can just go through the course and the entire thing is explained there. So any questions there? Any questions or doubts? Yes or no? Clear. All right. So yeah. Okay, so this memory basically tells you where to store the data. This means that this thing won't be stored, permanently in the blockchain. So this memory keyword basically means that whatever parameter or whatever data that you will share here will be stored temporarily, and once the execution is done, it will be discarded. Okay, memory means like you are temporarily keeping the data, but here we are just storing it into a variable, meaning like these data won't last the execution. It will be kept temporarily and then it will be discarded. So the thing is, in events, we are not using memory because we are sharing the data. This event data will be permanently stored in the blockchain and will be shared with okay, this won't be temporarily stored, it will be shared, it will be there in the blockchain. All the data that has the memory keyword attached, it will be temporarily stored during execution. in the memory, basically. So yeah, once that is done, let's in order to deploy the contract, you need to set up one thing like I told you that we need the account, right? And in order to access the account, just like how you have your PIN number in your ATM card that controls the whole balance, controls your account. Like if you lose your PIN number, or if somebody finds out your PIN number, they can just drain your account. Meaning you can use the PIN number to control your bank account. Right. So similarly, you have something called as the private key in MetaMask. Okay. So ideally, when you're developing it, you're not supposed to share it. But since I'm teaching you guys, I'll just show you how to get the private key. So this is not a good practice to share your private key, because it is just like the PIN number that you use with your ATM card. Okay. So, but since it's a workshop, I'll show you how to do it. Don't do, because if somebody actually gets hold of this private key, they can actually drain your account or control your whole account. Okay, so never share this, but since we are just going through the workshop, I'll show you how to retrieve it. So just you have to, when you set up the account, you have the password, just click on this and hold on to it. So this is how you get the private key, but never share it like this is never directly share it on the code and stuff. Just go to the account details section and get the private key. Like you have the option there.
That 12-word seed phrase and private keys do the same thing.
Yeah, seed phrase. Seed phrase is something that you use to actually recover the account and stuff. So it is sort of like a safe pass or a safe password to recover your account. And private key is more like something that you use to control the account itself. So seed phrase is something that you use to recover the account in case you lose your device or something happens to your device and stuff. And private key is something that you use within the account in order to control it. Like when you're sending the transactions and stuff, you need the private key to identify yourself. Yes. Make sure that you use the exact same phrases and stuff. Okay, it is case sensitive. So yeah. Meaning using the seed phrase, you can actually recover your entire account. Okay, using the private key, it is used for conducting transactions and stuff. So never share it, but since I'm just doing a walkthrough, I'm just showing you the whole thing. So what you have to do is you have to use this private key in order to deploy your contract. But like I said, you can never directly use those private key directly in your code. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to use something called as environment variables. Meaning you will be storing the private key in your system and your code will just use it when it wants it without actually exposing the private key. Okay, to do that, you have to install an npm package called .env. So just copy this. I'll just use the terminal because it's easy. So yeah, so I just install the .env package, and what you have to do is in your folder, just add a new file called .env. Okay. So in this file, you have to provide your private key, and this won't be exposed anywhere. Okay. I mean, if you provide your private key within the .env file, it won't be exposed anywhere, which is a sort of a safe way to keep it. Okay. So within your .env, just create a variable called private key, and here just copy your private key from MetaMask. Okay. So go to account details. Just leave your password. Again, I'm showing this because you guys, I trust you guys, and this is a workshop, but generally don't share your private key. Okay, so what we are doing is using this .env, we are securely storing our private key, and whenever our code needs it, it will just access it without directly exposing the whole thing. Okay, so yeah, so that part is done. So we have the private key and everything, and now we need a method to actually connect to the whole testnet. Like I told you that we have these nodes, or we have these computational systems that is running everywhere, and in order to access the network, we just need to connect to these computational servers and stuff. So one way to do it is that you have these providers called Alchemy, ChainStack, Infura, and all these platforms. Okay, they help you with connecting to these nodes. Okay, you just have to sign up to these platforms. Like Alchemy is one of the biggest there. So you just have to sign up to these Alchemy. platform, just create an app. I'll show you how to do this. Just say that you are using the Ethereum chain and you're trying to connect to the Sequoia network. The name will be Central. I'll just keep it Central DAO. Okay, so this will help me set up a node that will help me connect to the Sequoia network. Okay, and just go to this API key section and copy this HTTPS. So this is how, so using this link, I can connect to a node or a computational system that is part of the Sequoia network, meaning I can interact with the network. Okay, so before you do that, you have to add a couple of things. So I told you that you have the hard config file that stores all the configurations, right? So here we are going to store, like I'm going to add a couple of configurations. So it basically tells you the Solidity version that I'll be using, like 8.9. Like, don't worry about this. Hard hat will take care of this. And I'm connecting to the default network, which is Sequoia. And the Sequoia network, I'm connecting to the Sequoia network via the URL that I'm providing that I got from Alchemy. So I'll just copy the URL, the HTTP URL. So this is the URL, or this is the link to the node through which I'll be sending my smart contract to the network. Okay, and you can see that we are using the whole process.env thing, meaning using this thing, my code will just go to this env file and pick up the private key. Okay, so I'm not exposing the private key. I'm exposing the private key. I'm not directly exposing the private key to the code. I'm just storing it in the .env and just coding it here. So I have set up a Sequoia network. I have provided the node URL, and I have also provided the account. Like I said, the private key controls the account. So if I provide the private key, it can access the account and stuff. So within the Sequoia network, I'll be using this account to deploy my contract. Any questions here? Any questions or doubts? So we have all these things set up to actually deploy our smart contract, right? We have the account, we have the faucet, we have the code, we have the smart contract, we have set up the nodes and everything. Now you just need to create a script to deploy the contract. That's it. Any questions or doubts till now? Anybody? I mean, do you guys at least understand the overall idea regarding how this whole thing works? You need to set up an account, you need the code, you need some faucets to, you need some tokens to actually interact with the network, and you basically, need a way, a link, a URL to the node in order to complete the connection, and you're good to go, right? No, it should be open. But if it is there, we will send another link. Okay, maybe it's open for that window, but yeah, don't worry. After this thing, we will send you another link through which you can actually copy. Okay. Anybody claim the NFT? Did anybody claim the NFT? Yes or no? Did anybody get the Pope? Okay. Nice. Nice. Share it on Twitter, tag Metaschool and Central DAO, right? So yeah, so we are done with we have the code ready, we have the node, we have ways to connect to the network. Now we just need a script to do the connection part or the deployment part. Okay, so we have this deploy.js script. This is the code. I'll just copy it and explain the whole thing. So the whole deployment, all the script should be stored in this. So you when we actually set up the hard hat project, it actually fills it up with the sample codes and stuff. So all you have to do is just remove this and add the deployment script. So this is also just 6 lines of code, nothing major. So yeah, all you're doing is, so the thing is, this Solidity contract, this is something called as a high-level language, meaning this is plain English, right? I mean, I can understand it, you guys can understand it, but the Ethereum, you can't understand this language. So first, what we have to do is we have to convert this code into something that Ethereum network or the computers can understand, or low-level code. Okay. So within the script, what we are doing is once we convert the whole thing to the code, we will get all the details required using the get contract factory. Like I'll show you. So in order to convert the code to low level, what you have to do is you have to compile the code. Okay. So just type in the command npx hard had compiled. So what this does is this essentially compiles your code, your Solidity English high-level code into something that the machine or Ethereum can understand. See, when you compile it, you will get two new directories called artifacts and cache. Just go to the artifacts in the contract section. You have this hello world.json where you have all the details required to deploy your contract. Like this is basically the low-level bytecode and everything. And this ABI is sort of like a map to the contract. It tells you what are the functions there, what are the kind of data it uses and everything. Okay, so all this will be created once you compile your Solidity contract, and the compilation is done via this npx hard compile command. Okay, and so this will all be automatically handled by the deployment script. And once it is done, this part will just take all those information that we have created after the compilation, and it will just deploy the contract. And any idea on what this is? We are using the deploy command, we are deploying this, and any idea, can you tell me where the string will go? This is a string, right? And when we are deploying the contract, we are providing the string. Where do you think the string will go? Any idea? So we have compiled the contract. We are deploying. We gather. Yes, there you go. See, like in the contract, you have the constructor where you store the string, right, into this variable. So in the deploy script, what is happening is that this is the script that you are sharing with the constructor. Okay, and this command will deploy your contract, and once deployed, in order to confirm the transaction, using this you are getting the transaction ID or the transaction hash to make sure you have successfully deployed your contract. And once you get the transaction ID, you just wait for that transaction to complete. And once the transaction is completed, you get something called as a contract address. And using the contract address, you can actually go into the network and find out where your contract is. Okay, so this is the code. You get all the compiled details of the contract. You deploy the contract. You get the transaction or the deployment transaction ID. You wait for the transaction to complete, and you get the address of your contract. Right? So this is the basic script, and this is just for running this function, main function. Okay. So this is the script that I'm going to run. So all you have to do is, in order to run the script, just open the terminal here, or I'll just use my directory and just run this command. Yeah, we already compiled it. Just run. So this npx hard run. So here what we are saying is we are running that particular script that is sitting. So we are running the script that is sitting in the scripts folder called deploy.js, and we are deploying the whole thing to the Sepolia network. Okay, that is what this command is doing. So using the npx command, we are using the hard package to run the script, and the script will basically deploy the whole thing to the Sepolia network. And the details of the network and how to connect to it and everything is given in our hard config.js file. Okay, so just click on this. Any doubts so far? You can see that the contract is being deployed. Any doubts so far? Any questions? Any queries? Like at least how many of you understood at least 17%, 75% of this? What is happening? How it is happening and stuff? At least 75 to 80%. Nobody? Oh, understood. Okay. Yeah. So once this whole thing is deployed, you have the contract, like you see the contract address. So we have successfully deployed our first contract. Okay, and in order to view it, you can go to this place called Etherscan. So Etherscan is this platform that helps you view into the blockchain. Okay, so here go to Etherscan. So Etherscan, usually you can see all the transactions and everything that is happening in the Ethereum network. So here, click on this part and just change the network to Sequoia testnet and just paste your address here. Okay, and just click on this. And you can see that 55 seconds ago, I have conducted a transaction that deployed the address. And if I click on the address, you can see that a new contract. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. If you click on this transaction, it will show you where the contract is and everything. So this is the contract address. Okay, and you can see the whole details. This is something that only the machines can understand. But yeah, this is basically what how your Solidity contract looks like, or this is the version that Ethereum understands. Okay, so we have successfully deployed our contract onto the network, and this is how you do this. Okay, you just first set up a MetaMask account. You just connect to a testnet or a mainnet. You get the required tokens. You create a Solidity file. You can either use a framework like Hard Hat or directly use Remix, and you set up mechanisms to connect to the network, meaning you get the HTTPS or the RPC URL link from platforms like Alchemy that helps you connect to the network, and just write the code to actually deploy your contract. And once all those steps are done, the contract will be deployed to your the network of your choosing, and you will get a contract address through which you can verify whether the contract is added to the network or not. Any questions there? Any questions or doubts? And using this contract, like this is basic. This is a very basic contract. Okay, I just took some time so that you guys can understand the whole process here. But you can write more complex contracts, like you can create voting contracts where you can check all the voting criteria. You can create contracts for selling stuff. All these kind of things. So all of those rules will be part of these functions, and you can create mechanisms to check whether people are following these rules, right? And just like how I mentioned, so here, like in a vending machine, you provide the coins, but in the contract, you just provide the data, right? So any questions or doubts so far? Is this clear? The whole process clear? Any questions regarding what a contract is, how it works? What is Hard Hat? How do you deploy the whole thing? Any questions regarding any of this? At least, like, how many of you understood at least 70 to 75% of all this? Just use the emojis. Right? Awesome. So this is the whole idea. Like I keep saying the whole 70 to 75 thing, because you can just use the whole the course is completely there. You can just go through the course. It is free. No, you don't have to pay anything. And just complete it, and you will get an NFT there. So just share it. Like those who are starting out, just share that NFT and tell the people that you are, or you have completed the course, or you have deployed your first contract, right? So in case you have any questions or doubts, just let me know. If you have any questions or doubts, just let me know. And how many of you are doing this course now? And I think there is a fun little challenge. Like if you can complete the course within an hour, you'll get an additional. You'll get an additional NFT. So those who are completing it, try to do this quickly. It's pretty much like what I've just explained. So any questions or doubts? Or if you are facing any technical issues, you can always rely on our Discord server. Just post all your questions here. Yeah, there you go. So post all your questions and stuff, and we'll be happy to help you guys. Okay, so any questions, any doubts? Is the explanations clear? Like, did you understand the fundamentals of it? Like contracts? Awesome, yeah. Any questions or any doubts or anything, just let us know. I think that.
Setu, can you also drop your, you already drop your Twitter, right? Twitter or LinkedIn?
Yeah.
So guys, Setu is also in the Central DAO community. So you can join Central DAO. Kushal, can you post the Telegram link? If you haven't already joined the community, then Setu is in the community. You can ask for any doubts. And while the best medium would be Meta School Discord, but
Yeah.
you can also reach out.
Yeah, we have channels there. So this is my Twitter. I'll share the link. Just give me a second. So yeah, once the contract is, so this is, since we are just dealing with contract deployment, that's why I just stopped here. So now you can actually create functions to interact with the contract. Okay, you can create nice front-end applications and stuff that will help you interact with the contract. Okay, that way you have full-fledged applications like Google or Facebook and stuff, and the entire logic will be handled by the contract. Right? So that whole thing, so since we are all about helping you get started with the contract deployment, that's why we stopped there. But you can take it all the way. Okay, we'll conduct a couple of more workshops where we will show you how to create a full-end application and stuff. Okay, so and this is my link there. So in case of any questions or doubts, I hope this whole thing was easy enough to understand. And I hope there are not much doubts in terms of what a contract is and what all this does. So yeah, in case of any doubts, just attack me on Twitter or LinkedIn or use our Discord and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's it from my end. If you have any questions to ask. Yeah, so Hard Hat is the library that we actually use to do this, right? So this whole project is basically thanks to Hard Hat. Like we set up the whole project thanks to Hard Hat. And like I said, it is basically the library that we use to develop and test the contract and stuff. Like the compilation and everything is actually handled by Hard Hat. Okay, this deployment script and everything is part of the Hard Hat, like all this is handled by the Hard Hat framework. Oh, you're already correct. That's nice. So it is the framework that we use to develop the contract, and VS Code is a tool that we use to write the code. That's it. You can directly write it without Hard Hat, but it will take you have to rely on 10 different tools to do 10 different things. Like you have to install a compiler and all those kind of things. So any questions or doubts? Aditya, are you looking into my LinkedIn profile? Yeah, awesome. So yeah, do let us know how you felt about this session. Do share your learnings on Twitter and LinkedIn. Do tag Meta School and everybody. So yeah, we'll be conducting such sessions where we will help you, understand how to build more complex contracts and applications and everything. Right. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you guys. I hope the session was useful. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining and being with us. I hope it was insightful, and we'll keep doing such sessions. And we are planning many offline sessions as well. So if you are in Indore or like we are planning in actually more than 20 cities. So we'll keep updating in the Central DAO community. So follow that as well.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot everyone for joining. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And do share the whole poem